to the special things we do and say, and even objects that have been passed down for many generations. It is the customs, traditions, and ways that people believe, and is handed down from generation to generation. Where did my great-grandparents come from?
Dylan, my grandfather, Cody, was born in the United States, and my grandfather, Demers, was born in Canada.
My grandfather, Lefebvre, was born in Canada, and I don't know where my grandfather Dupron was born.
Have you ever been to Canada?
Yes, Dylan, I've been to Canada, matter of fact, it was Montreal, for a family reunion, but I never did see where my father's birthplace was.
And I've been to Canada a couple of times, but never been to where my grandparents were born.
Do you know why they came to the USA?
I came to the United States for a better life and for a better education.
My grandparents came to the United States because there were more jobs here than in Canada at the time. There was a big mill complex being built, and they were going to work there.
Actually, one thing I should mention was that when my father came to the United States, he did not speak English, only French. So before he could get a job in the mills, he had to go to school at night to learn English. And during the day, he was working in the mills. And a sad part is he was only 10 years old.
Can you give me some examples of customs and traditions from our heritage that we still preserve today?
Yes.
In my family, we used to go to midnight mass. We don't do that anymore, but we still have big family gatherings on Christmas Eve with pork pie and baked beans, things like that. And we still dress up for Easter like we used to back in the old days. We still have big family gatherings at Thanksgiving, and that's about it.
An important part of heritage is remembering traditions and customs that we don't practice anymore as culture has changed. Can you give me some examples of this?
One of the things we did at my house when I was a child, and we had 6 kids, and we weren't allowed to speak during dinner, and if we did, it had to be in French. And we did learn English by going to school, and I'm really glad this tradition was not carried through, because we always spoke to our children about their day at school and anything they wanted to talk about, so I'm really glad that went wayside.
In Canada, the French have a tradition of having the kids asking their father or their grandfather for their blessing on New Year's Day, and that was supposed to keep them safe for the year. We don't do that anymore in our family, and you know, it's gone by the wayside. But other than that, I can't think of anything else.
Do you have any items that have been passed down from our ancestors to you?
I have mostly photographs from my parents and showing their fathers when the day they got married in 1932. And one of the most prized possessions that I have is my mother's diamond ring, which she gave to me, and then I gave to your father, Dylan, and he gave it to your mom when he asked if you could marry her. And then someday your mom's going to give it to you. And this is my very special item.
That's really pretty.
It's very, very meaningful. So.
Well, some of the things that I have, excuse me, that have been passed on are a picture of my great-grandfather, my grandfather Mansell, Oscar, and I have his death notice here from the paper when he died. He was only 23 years old when he died. And then I have a Bible which belonged to his first wife, Malvina, and you know, that's pretty old. And again, I don't know what the date was that he died, but it was, my mother was only very, very young at the time. My father served in the United States Marines. He got this flag when he died. This was flown over the Capitol, and it was in remembrance of his service. And I have this old book here that during the war, they gave to the veterans when they get out of the service to go back to civilian life, how to adjust. And these are my father's dog tags. These are the tags that every soldier or every serviceman wears that identify themselves, so that you know, people will know who they are if they get shot or injured and they lose their way. My dad died in 1985. This is a replica of an M1 rifle, which was the rifle used in World War II, and it's made out of pewter, and it was purchased at Polar Caves in October of 1941 by my mom and dad when they were on their honeymoon. That's it, I guess.
I learned a lot about our heritage, including, like, I couldn't imagine how it would be if I were to go and work in the mills at the age of 10 as I am now, or if I didn't speak a language, if I didn't speak the language of the country I was in, and things like not being able to talk at the dinner table. And I'm glad some of those traditions went away, but it's also really nice to reserve some of them, including the beef pot pie, or the pork pot pie, I should say, and then the baked beans. And even though we don't do the midnight mass, we still have them at Christmas to bring back those memories.
It was a French custom.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
You guys, I'm finally serious. Okay, cut.
Oh my god.
Cut!
Hi, Dylan. My grandparents, my grandfather Cody was born in the United States in Manchester, New Hampshire, and my grandfather Demers
Cut!
I'm like laughing.